Welcome to the Consumers. My name is Greg Warren. These guys refer to me as Big Dog G. But
I didn't know that.
I'm Greg Warren. It's a special episode. We have a guest. Let's introduce the guest first. It is Zoltan Kaszas, very funny stand-up comedian.
He's right there,
buddy.
He's
We're
right
glad you're here.
On set.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm also with Tim Convy.
Hi, Big Dog G. What is it?
Now they're gonna know that you don't normally call me that.
Big.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's pretty bad. We tried it over the weekend and it bombed. So
I don't know. I think it's gonna catch on.
Did you have to bring him up as Big Dog G?
Yeah.
Twice, man. And we walked a third of the room.
We did.
I'm with them.
It just got up and left.
I'm with them.
Yeah.
I almost left the top of this thing.
I'm also here with Sean O'Brien, who is an emotional wreck right now.
I know, man. We should just tell him.
Yeah, we're recording on Sunday, the 26th, I believe, and this episode will come out on the 28th. So in about 2 hours' time, the Buffalo Bills are playing in the AFC Championship, and Sean, he's a mess. I had to drive with him all weekend. We drove a couple hours today. The guy, he's a mess.
Yeah.
Sean, what do you have to say?
Just, I'm nerves, man.
Yeah.
Here's the good thing. It's like I don't want to eat because when I get this type of nerves, I can't eat. So
Okay.
it's kind of like just being a Bills fan. It's like taking Ozempic right now. You can just not. It's the same thing. Like I'm like on 400 calories in the last 3 days.
Yeah,
So
you got that face that's a little drawn in.
yeah,
I
you think
noticed
so?
that.
You think that's the Ozempic? The Bills Ozempic?
Yeah,
Man.
There's some
I'm
side effects.
just a maniac for the Bills. So it's like
I love that.
Yeah.
I like fans that are still like that. It gets to that thing because then, if and when the Bills win the Super Bowl, you'll never care again.
Yeah, he'll be insufferable. It's yeah.
no, but I think he's honestly. It's not
No,
that you
I
don't
think
get, but
it's
you
true.
do
Yeah.
have that peace of mind of like you got the one
Yeah.
in your lifetime,
Yeah.
and you know, like even the Cardinals, man. For me, it was like I moved. 06 was so cool. I'm like in St. Louis.
Yeah.
It's like I got to live in the town when the Cardinals won.
Yeah.
So even if they're gonna stink for a while.
Yeah, they are.
So
I don't know.
Let's
man.
hope not. I'm not rooting for it, but
it doesn't look great.
are you a big football guy, man, or sports?
Yeah, well, I'm a Steelers fan because when we first moved from Hungary, we lived in Pittsburgh for a few years, so that's where I got all my sports allegiances.
Okay.
And I remember I felt that way when the Steelers won with Jerome Bettis in 06, beat the Seahawks. I cared, and we were like a playoff team leading up to that, and then we had like a bad year in 03, then Ben Roethlisberger shows up, blah, blah, blah. We end up winning, and then after that, and then we won again a couple of years later. I'm good for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You
Keep
got
Tomlin forever. I
Yeah.
don't care. Yeah.
That's a killer sports town, right, Greg?
It's a great.
Isn't that like,
it's
just
such
a great town.
Great town altogether.
And-
I've mentioned that. Well, you know what's in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, have you been to Randyland? Are you familiar?
Yeah.
No?
You haven't been to Randyland?
So I moved out
Are you
of
sure you grew up in Pittsburgh?
Yeah. Dude, you're
I-
not from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I moved out when I was like in 95, so I was in second grade.
Okay.
So what is Randyland?
It's an art museum.
But honestly, it's so much more.
It is.
It's the state of mind.
It's the
in a lot of
official
ways.
art museum of this podcast, I believe.
100%.
So
Stuff like this?
yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah.
consumers
Yeah.
are mostly.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't even tell you how it is. It's an art museum / It sort of feels like a I don't know. It's not very big. I don't even know
Yeah.
how big of a deal it is there.
It was like
but
some guy's house they turned into.
Yeah, I didn't go to this.
we joke about Nateland, and then this is Randy having Randyland,
Right.
and then we realize there's a real place. See, it's only that big, so I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that looks familiar.
Didn't you live back there behind that
Pretty
thing?
exquisite, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Whoa.
We're gonna go. We'll probably do a broadcast from Randyland at one point.
Yeah.
We're promising a lot of broadcasts.
Yeah, we really are.
I want to mention Zoltan is a stand-up comic, a very, very funny stand-up comic. Sean and I drove several hours this weekend, and last night we got sick of talking to each other.
Sick of it,
And,
yeah, man. Yeah.
We put on your latest project, Honorary Jones, and
Yeah,
both thought it was fantastic.
Outstanding,
Yeah,
man.
really good
Thank
stuff.
you.
buddy.
Loved it, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Real
Yeah, we
smooth.
listened to almost all of it. Then we got the hotel. I listened to the last like 15 today. Rolling, man. He's got just dynamite jokes.
Yeah, check it out. Honorary
Great
Jones,
stuff, man.
It's also a video special too, right?
Yeah, it's on YouTube,
Yeah.
free. I didn't put any ads in the middle, so you can just roll right through.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
It's good. Sean and I were in Wisconsin for a couple of shows, and then Iowa I had a gig last night in Iowa, a private gig for some dairy farmers or cattlemen, I guess is best. Yeah, cattlemen would be the best way to say that. I think the dairy farmers milk the cows and the cattlemen kill them. I think I should have probably asked that question. But
different cows too.
Yeah, we had a few things go down. Since we are the consumers, we talk about brands. We had an incident at a Starbucks right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And I've been going to Starbucks. Tim goes a lot. I probably go. You a Starbucks guy?
Big time.
Okay, so I go probably every day of my life for the last 25 years or something. And I get tea. And lately I get a Grande Tea. And the Grande Tea takes 2 tea bags. Okay.
Right.
It does. I know this. I know that it does. Okay. I know it like I know the sky is blue. And we go to this Starbucks. And we're getting in off the road. It's freezing. Go in there, and I can tell just when she's taking the order that she's new. I can tell she's new. The way she's making the tea all tentatively, she's new. And I go, hey, I can see what she's doing. She's about to finish up. I go, the Grandes actually get to 2 tea bags. She goes, no, they get one. They get one.
Yeah,
they get one. And I, like an idiot, I had to argue.
Boy.
I'm like, actually, they get 2. Because I've been through this argument before, and I always win the argument.
Did you witness this?
I saw
Yeah,
everything.
he saw
Where
everything.
was you as it started? Did you just know this is going to get good?
It was great, man. Yeah,
I was not mean. I was not rude. I was a little bit persistent. And then she goes, no, it doesn't. And she talked to somebody on the headphone, and they confirmed. And then I saw the other lady that was real nice. They were all real nice. She gave Sean a free sandwich, I think, or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, she must be in charge. She's giving out free sandwiches. You can't just be the low man on the totem pole giving out free sandwiches. So I go to her. I'm like, hey, I just the Grandes get 2 tea bags. She's like, no, they get 1. That's how we do it here. We're a new store. So maybe things just changed. And I'm like, okay, all right. I'm sorry that I gave him $5. I'm like, I want 2. Here's an extra 5. They don't even have to give $5. No, I'm going to leave the $5, So I go, so they put 2 tea in there, and I'm driving away, and I'm like, guys, I know they're wrong on this deal. So Sean went on Starbucks.
Right to Twitter.
He went right to the
I
app.
go right to Twitter.
Was it Twitter?
Or whatever, yeah.
Or,
X, you know what I mean.
Or the app or
Follow
something?
him, direct message. I'm like, guys, we got a code red.
Yeah.
Wherever the town, small town in Illinois.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Yeah, I don't even know where. It might have been Wisconsin.
We didn't tell on him. That's the thing. Is
No.
Sean goes, hey, what's the deal? And they came back right away. They're like,
Right away. And they're like,
2 tea bags.
What's going on? I'm like, none of your business. I'll take it from here.
Yeah, 2 tea bags, and they
Yeah.
go, where is it? Where is it? And I've never done something so heroic in my life as I didn't tell on them. I wouldn't let both of us decided we're not going to tell on them. We're not going to say this is where it happened.
Right.
And Sean was like, I don't even remember. I go, I remember exactly where. I know that Starbucks. I know exactly which one. And I'm not going to. Here's the thing. I'm not going to tell on the beginning of this podcast. It's in me to tell. Like I might, by the time we get done with this podcast, I might tell. But right now, I'm not going to tell.
Well, it's not going to get fixed, guys.
I know.
You just have the satisfaction of being right. You didn't improve the experience for future customers.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right, maybe
That's
I'll tell.
actually a fair point, man.
Maybe I'll tell. That's
You
what I need to
should.
put me over there.
You should have told Starbucks online when they
Well,
asked.
It's just not my blood, man. I'm not
I
a
just don't wanna
snitch.
get
I'm also
somebody-
not a tea guy.
I
so it doesn't
don't
affect
want to
me.
get somebody in trouble.
You will. Oh, trouble?
Yeah.
Fired.
They're not going to get
They
fired.
will be fired.
They're not gonna get
Starbucks is
fired.
cracking down over there, man. You can't loiter anymore. No free waters
like
unless you're buying stuff.
I like that she told you, like, we're a new store, as if, like, hey, sure, the old ones are grandfathered in, but this is a new thing
new
that
experience.
Starbucks is
Yeah,
doing.
it's a new thing that we're doing.
Dumb.
Yeah, really, really upset about it.
Dumb.
And now you're making me. And now I'm not even proud that I didn't.
Yeah, you
tell.
didn't fix it. You're just
I
right.
didn't fix it, but I didn't. But I saved somebody from getting in trouble.
I don't think they
I
would have
just
gotten in
think
trouble.
as a comic, I do so many things that are lazy and shirk so many responsibilities and nobody tells on me usually.
Yeah, I mean, it would be the equivalent of somebody going to Yelp and complaining about your show, right?
Right.
Kind of like,
And that
hey, man, this
happens.
joke needs to be fixed.
That
Fix
happens.
it.
Yeah.
No, because people are going there, ordering grandes, thinking they're getting X amount of caffeine, when in fact they're getting half of that.
Yeah.
And that's happening in people's regular day, and you could have improved these people's lives.
It is elastic though, in that tea is a weird deal, man. You can get just as much caffeine if you want to leave it in there for another 10 minutes.
How long it's in?
Yeah, it's elasticity.
What's your move there, Zoltan? What do you do if you're in that situation? Are you going to tell? Are you going to be like, I don't care?
I'll just leave.
Yeah.
With whatever they give me. I'm very bad at complaining.
Yeah.
Because I'm not good at it. Unless I'm perturbed, unless I'm already upset, then I'll get in there. But like otherwise, like sometimes I'll want the bold. You know how they have like different types of drip coffee, and they're like, that one's empty, and I'm like, oh, I got time, and I can tell they don't want to make it. I'm like, I'll just take the other one.
Yeah,
I'm one of those people, and then I'll just take it out on the road. You know, like when I'm driving, I'll take it out on somebody.
Oh yeah,
Anger,
and then bottle it up.
Yeah, bottle it up, and then someone who's not expecting it. My wife's like, "Why are you yelling at me?" I'm like, "This has nothing to do with you."
It's much better to yell at your wife than correct somebody on the type of coffee. I think.
At least you're directing your energy towards
the right
correct
person. Yeah. I hate to tell you, you said you're not really a complainer.
Yeah.
Sean's mom thinks the name of our podcast is The Complainers.
True story. Yep. It's way back in episode 4. I think.
Yeah, she goes,
that was the real conversation.
Yeah,
so
she
I was
said,
like, Mom, that might
your...
be better. Maybe we should switch.
Because
I do more complaining than consuming.
We'd be 5 times as big if we were the complainers.
Yeah, the complainers.
Yeah, there's something there. It's got like a... I don't know. I mean, I fit the shoe for that.
She didn't mistake the word consumer. She just knew her son started a podcast and just assumed it was called The Complainer.
Yeah, she probably didn't even know. Yeah, she's like, that's probably what he would name it because that's what I made in my life. A kid who complains a lot. So.
And Sean, we were selling some. His son sells those shirts right there, the salmon shirts.
It's a silly thing.
Nice looking shirt.
Did you draw that?
I wish I did, man.
It's just
like, why else?
Just some internet art.
I promise you, it's based on a stupid joke in my head.
Okay.
But, man, you sell a few, you limp through the week, you make a few extra bucks, and so
there you go.
this we were in Osh Kosh, and these 2 ladies were like, it's great. It's one of the situations where one lady wants the shirt, and the other lady's like, I don't want it,
right?
Which is so hilarious to me. Where I'm like, can you at least just save how much you hate this thing when you leave?
Yeah.
Like, you want one? She's like, no, I don't. I mean,
why would you ask
gonna
me that?
Give this guy money for that thing? She's like, I'm thinking about it. So I'm like, whatever. Yeah. And they came on very nice. And I'm like, whatever, $20. And so I take a card and I use a square on your phone. But now my phone it's tap only.
Yeah.
Like I don't have the swipe, and they didn't have a tap card. So now I'm like, oh man, I got to manually enter. That's going to stall the line. So, and then the lights were dim. I'm trying to manually, and I'm like,
And I'm going to interrupt for just a second. That is a thing for those out there. Like when you're selling T-shirts at the end of this show, I haven't done it in a while, but it's like, it's a time, like you got to get them all in the like 15 minutes or they're going to leave. Like,
they'll leave in 5.
Yeah. You
and rightfully so. Yeah. I don't blame them.
So you're under pressure.
So I'm under pressure, and I make the decision. I was like, you know what? Keep it.
Yeah.
I was like, just have it. And they're like, no, we can't. And then she's like, well, let me see if I have some money. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I was like, it's fine. I'm not, at this point, I mean, they were really nice, but I was like, you just wrap it up and I can move on to the next. And then so I finished selling shirts. Then after the show, the lady comes up to me and she has money, cash rolled up. And she goes, hey, here you go. Made it right for you. And I'm like, you know what? That unbelievable. What a great person.
Yeah.
I go, that is so nice. I go, most people would be like, forget it, whatever. He gave me the shirt. I was like, you're a good person.
Yeah.
You're going to have a great night. And then I get back to the hotel because it wasn't a 20. It was like a bunch of what appeared to be 5s and singles. Yeah. And I roll it at $8. I'm high-fiving her. I was like, just the salt of the earth.
You're going to have a great night.
She found out you didn't draw it.
Yeah,
and she's like, I'm not.
He's like, he's a fraud.
You're right.
That's a stock image on Google. It was great. Then another guy paid me in 10 twos.
No way.
I said, remember, you guys remember like a couple months ago on the show? Like, I love $2 bills.
He's like, it's his thing. Like,
I just like $2.
When he goes to the bank, he gets.
Wait, so it was a consumer's listener?
Consumers listener.
Oh, that's
bought
awesome.
a shirt. He definitely went right to the bank. Fresh 2s, 10 of them. He was proud. I high-fived him. Everybody wins.
Who's
That's
on the
awesome.
2 again? Is it Jefferson?
Wait, I know this.
I'm such a dummy.
You don't know?
Wait, how don't I know this?
It's not that I don't.
You're a
Jefferson?
I am. I just don't pay attention.
It's a big one, whoever it is.
Most
Isn't
of them
it the
are.
same guy?
One of the ones you've heard
I mean,
of.
I could just
Hey, you
say
were
it.
right there with me, not able to name presidents from Virginia last week,
Very
so I don't
true.
want to hear it.
You want to bring up what we weren't able or what we were able to name
Well,
last
actually,
week?
we're going to get to it in the comments unless you want to get to it right now.
I do.
Oh,
I do. We're going to
Googling.
keep
Oh, I got it.
Thomas
Jefferson. I got it. Jefferson.
Yeah.
Jefferson. Hey, you know this?
That's a
Here
bit there. Here are the
I
two.
didn't.
Get this. This is something I learned. See this right here? The ability to swivel
Yes.
in an office chair? Thomas Jefferson.
You're kidding.
Yes.
What?
He was the guy that invented the swivel.
On chairs or just the swivel in general?
The swivel, and I think on chairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were people who were turning it.
They were turning.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, no, but he was the one who made office chairs
Wow.
swivel, which I'd have liked to have been at that meeting when he pulled that move out. They're like, yeah, old Jefferson, man, he's over here. He's giving it to Brendan Franklin, and then boom, right away. I swear he's half machine. He just went, and then like some other guy made it go up and down. And it took them like 50 years to figure out that they could go up and down and swivel.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm tackling chairs in the act right now.
Yeah, you are.
Are you really?
Trying to get into chairs. I've tried on the last special, and I had a few things, and I'm like, no, let's save this one. We don't have it yet.
I love bits about the most like small things.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
For a
yeah.
while, I was trying to do a joke about the zipper and like
That's
who
good.
invented the zipper. And it was like
Really?
some guy invented it and some other guy stole the idea, like half of it. And then so I was like, that's like lineage. It's like legacy money. Like someone's on a yacht right now as a trust fund baby because their great grandfather stole the zipper idea.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then the other guy's great grandson is not doing well.
Not good.
No,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kid's- yeah.
He's not putting enough tea bags in a
Yeah.
Starbucks.
Oh, it's not fair?
Yeah.
You didn't get what you were supposed to?
Yeah.
Neither did I. Let's get to it, huh?
Let's do it. Big
Let's
one.
get to it.
Yeah, what are we talking about today?
We got a big brand this week. The brand is, as you can see, Ben and Jerry's, both of them. Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield were buddies. They met in the 7th grade in gym class. This is in the 60s in Long Island,
Nice.
on Long Island, where my dad is from. And I think Jerry fainted during gym class. I don't think either one of them were particularly good athletes. And Ben was charmed by Jerry fainting and felt that he had a kinship with him, and they became buddies.
Gym
So,
teacher didn't get involved on that. Just a little bit of help, maybe.
well, I'm sure they did the right thing.
But you're saying like he actually went out of his way to check on the kid.
I don't know if it was that. He just liked him.
No,
I
fair enough.
don't think he really, I didn't go as deep as always. You're asking the right questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep the ball.
We'll do that on the follow-up episode. They kind of went their separate ways and did well in college. Ben dropped out of college and started doing pottery, and got into pottery. And his only real issue was people didn't want to buy his pottery. And Jerry was a pretty smart guy. I think he was a National Merit Scholar in high school and was trying to get into med school, but was getting turned down. So he was a lab tech, and they were like, we ought to do something together. So in 1978, they decided, let's open a store together, and they were going to open a bagel store. They're Long Island guys. If you ever been to Long Island, the bagels there are incredible. They wanted to sort of take those bagels and expand them throughout the Northeast. So they were going to open one in Burlington, Vermont. What they found out was bagel machines are incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
So they're like, let's go ice cream instead. So each of them put up $4,000, and they borrowed $4,000 from the bank. And they opened the first Ben and Jerry's in Burlington, Vermont. Excuse me. It was a renovated gas station, actually. And they did not only serve ice cream at the time. They had soups and crepes.
Wow.
They only kept that up for a year. In 79, they went to all ice cream. When I go into a Ben and Jerry's now, I still order crepes and soup.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me get
Broccoli cheddar.
broccoli cheddar and some crepes and Chunky Monkey.
And you know what they say? They go, we're a new store.
Yeah. So they did pretty well right out of the gate. In 1979, they decided we're going to start doing wholesale deliveries. We're not just going to sell it retail. We're going to try to sell it to grocery stores and places like that. Couple of interesting things. Ben has anosmia. Sean, what is anosmia?
That's when you can't smell anything.
There
correct?
you go, buddy. Yeah,
Oh.
I think he can smell a little bit, but not a lot. And when you can't smell, you can't taste very well. So he said that he liked to taste with his eyes, and he liked mouthfeel experiences, which is why there's all that sort of chunky type stuff in Ben & Jerry's, because he wanted to have like different mouthfeel, you're crunching, you're getting, there's a big thing of chocolate, there's a Brazil nut or something like that.
He can't taste stuff?
He can't taste stuff very well, is what he said.
It's like our buddy Ryan Stout.
Ryan Stout
has that thing.
Yeah, very funny comic as well. So yeah, so that's why kind of Ben & Jerry's has all this stuff.
That's great.
I guess. They took a correspondence course from Penn State. It's the ice cream short course. It has been around since 1892.
Mm-hmm.
If you're somebody in ice cream, if you work for an ice cream company, you went and took this short course at Penn State. It's a 7-day intensive thing where you learn about ice cream. I think it started maybe as part of the ag department, and now it's like food science or something like that. But any Haagen-Dazs, Breyers, they all go to take this 7-day short course at Penn State. It's so popular, they came up with another one that's like ice cream or frozen desserts 101. It's like, hey, I'm not going to be a giant ice cream baron, but I want to learn about ice cream. So, and they took it for $5, and then they got some SBA, Small Business Association. I think that's what that's called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or administrator. I don't know. SBA used to put out these little brochures about like how to start a business, and that's how they kind of learned.
Wow.
Basically, the $5 correspondence course from Penn State, and they read these brochures, and that's how they started it.
So let me be clear. You could do that today still.
What's that? The
short
short course?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should.
For
buddy.
a week. I mean, I think we should. I think we should talk to
I would
Nate.
do it.
Let's fund a project and let's get me up there.
Yeah.
Do the diplomas look the same as like
Great
if you
question.
took like a real course?
Man,
Like a
great
Penn State,
question.
because you could frame it, and people are like, "Well, you went to Penn State, but you don't let people look too close."
It's got a big pink ice cream logo on the side. So you're like,
Yeah, a clown.
smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would do
I
that.
get what you're saying, but I would be more proud of the ice cream thing. I think
definitely.
it's going to
Yeah.
stand out a little bit.
Yeah.
More. You
Well,
went to
he's
Penn
a little
State?
sour with Penn State because they're the best wrestlers in the world, and so he might have a bad attitude.
I appreciate him.
I know, but I'm saying they're a very good wrestling team. Let's just be honest.
They're a dynasty. They win all the time. I don't, it's not even fair anymore. But yeah, maybe I'm a little upset.
I mean, a little
about
salty.
it.
I
They got
I'm
a
starting
great
to-
coach. They get the best athletes.
I'm starting to sense the energy you brought to that tea conversation.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of, listen, there's 2 tea bags in there. I don't want to cause a scene, but
I was a little more animated with the tea. I was, yeah. I was so sure I was right, and we won't get into it. But last week I brought up a situation where I got it's embarrassing, Zoltan, but I got my first hybrid car is a rental car.
okay.
And I parked it, and it wouldn't start. And I called the rental company like mad that, hey, like you gave me a car that's got a bad battery, it's not starting. And the guy was like, basically like, hey, put it in gear. I want to hear something. And he goes, press the gas. I'm like, yeah, it's going. Like, so it was. So I had that in the back of my head because I was sure I was right there,
Right.
and I was wrong.
Yeah.
So they were in my head when I was at the Starbucks saying, no, it's 2T, but it's like it's this thing I know fundamentally, but I also knew fundamentally that this car wasn't working.
Right.
And it was. So I doubted myself.
It's
My
good.
buddy Sean kind of got my confidence back because he went on and he went right to him.
Right.
Yeah, you go right
to
to the source.
right to the source.
They were
Yeah.
gaslighting you.
Yeah. So they went after the premium. This is high end,
Yeah.
high quality ingredients. They went into that segment, which was not a big segment back when they jumped in. Haagen-Dazs was the only real player in the premium segment back then. And Haagen-Dazs, couple of things. We want to do this brand sometime, so I won't go all the way into it. But Haagen-Dazs, that's not a real like Danish word.
They just invented something that
They
sounded
invented
delicious.
something that sounded delicious and European and sophisticated, and they wanted it to be a nod to Denmark because the guy, the founder, was Jewish, and Denmark did a lot of. They were heroic and rescued a lot of the Jews during the Holocaust. But it was just a made up.
But
Haagen-Dazs is just a made up thing.
They nailed it with that name, though.
It's
Good
fantastic.
name. It's a good name.
Haagen-Dazs. Woof.
Yeah, and they kind of went for like, we are European and we're sophisticated and premium. And these guys were like, went for exactly. We're two hippies. It's very basic down home, and the branding's very different, and they both work.
Yeah.
And they're both outstanding products. I'm more of a Ben and Jerry's guy.
Is Breyers premium?
I don't think.
Who else would you put on that high end? Is there anyone else in that game?
I don't. I've been out of the ice cream game for a long time. Like let's go ahead and talk about it right now.
Talent.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, I don't know how to say it.
But
Yeah,
isn't
it
that
looks like
it's more gelato.
Yes.
Yeah. Is Halo Top is healthy, right?
Halo Top is like they have. I might get this wrong. Don't they have protein? They have a few different like. Either it's healthier or they have one that has protein in it. I think like they've got different hooks going on with their stuff.
Well, there's more history. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Are you a Ben and Jerry's guy?
I very much enjoyed Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah.
As an adult, like, because I grew up poor, so that was like I tried Ben and Jerry's at the same age I tried sushi.
Yeah.
Like I had to, like this is like the sushi of ice cream for me. Like this is like.
In the back of a limousine, isn't it all?
This is high end.
Yeah. I love it. It was like I had a brief and torrid affair with Ben and Jerry's. Like I got into it, I think in my 30s, and I remember when I was living in LA in my early 30s, and I got into it heavy. The first thing I think I had was New York Super Fudge Chunk or something like that.
That's a good one.
That was unbelievable. And then I got way into Cherry Garcia.
Yeah.
And then I got way into chocolate Heath Bar Crunch, I think, or vanilla Heath Bar Crunch. It was just basically vanilla ice cream with Heath bars in it. It was unbelievable. And then there's one that's on here. It's the one with brownies in it. And that thing is and I was eating way too much. I have some binge issues, and I was at the height of my binge issues with this stuff. I remember just eating pints and pints of this. And then at one point, a couple things happened. I started having like some stomach stuff where I kind of got off of dairy. And then I also was like, it's just, I can't live the rest of my life if I am involved with this. So like, I haven't touched it. I may have a little today, but
I was going to ask my first time on the show, do we get to eat some?
Yeah. Matter of fact,
nice.
it's ice cream, so we probably should open it up.
Yeah. Get the spoons going.
You want to get the spoons?
Sorry, I didn't mean to rush the segment.
No, do it, man. Let's get the spoons.
I'm a bit of a binger like you are, so this is like a form of torture. Just sitting to stare at it.
Zoltan takes down a pint and then just leaves before.
Good podcast, dummies.
Here, I'll let you guys do that.
There's some Cherry Garcia.
I got a question. Does Ben and Jerry's make a vanilla?
Yes, and
They do. Okay.
And that was the first, and we have it right here.
Oh.
So this was their first thing they thought they needed to perfect was vanilla. They were like, we have to get vanilla right. And once they got it right, they were like, we're off to the races. We can put whatever we want in there. But they took a lot of time to get this right. There's the vanilla.
Wow.
That's the greatest thing that anyone in the world could ever eat.
Brownies.
Is the chocolate fudge brownie. Tim and I got some non-dairy stuff for Tim and I. We don't really eat much. I know Tim doesn't. I kind of go both ways. But
this one that I'm trying is made with sunflower butter. I have to say, as somebody, I haven't had dairy in like 17 years. They were the first ones to make a truly delicious vegan ice cream.
Really?
Yeah. Before that, it was all soy, delicious, and and they just weren't. They tasted like paper. And then I remember just what a game changer this was when they got into the non-dairy stuff.
This is the Tonight Dough with Jimmy Fallon on there.
It's a tasty one.
Yeah. Have you done the Tonight Show?
No,
I haven't either. Yeah.
But I mean, I've done this.
Oh, yeah.
I've done this.
Sean, jump in. You want some, man?
Yeah, I'll get involved.
Yeah, get involved.
Yeah, let's go.
There's a napkin.
What's going on down there?
This is non-dairy. Why don't you try? You want to?
What does that mean?
It means it's not.
No, you're saying like, oh, he'll eat the dairy.
You want the non-dairy?
Whatever.
I didn't know they made it non-dairy. No, that's fine. Let's space it out. I'll just do this.
There you
do
go.
the best. That's the best thing anyone could ever eat, ever.
What's in the Tonight Dough?
Caramel, chocolate ice cream, chocolate cookie swirls, gobs of chocolate chip, cookie dough, peanut butter cookie, a lot of cookie dough.
Okay.
A lot of chocolate, a lot of cookie dough.
I've never had that one.
You know that by memory?
No, I was just reading the list. Oh, that's perfect. This amount of milk is exactly
You
what
think
you're
so?
looking. I think that's perfect.
Okay.
I think that's perfect.
I'm going with the non-dairy
I'll take one scoop so
mint
great.
chocolate
I won't double
cookie.
dip.
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
This is really good.
Yeah.
I love this. Yeah. I'm just a big fan.
Tim, what do you got?
I've got the non-dairy milk and cookies. Milk is in parentheses, of course.
Milk.
I'm sorry, quotations.
The milk and cookies, not the non-dairy, but the milk and cookies, I believe, is their 10th bestseller. We got a ranking list somewhere. We'll give you here in a second.
I'm back.
This is the first time I've had Ben and Jerry's with all my clothes on. Like normally I'm in a hotel bed in my underwear, crisscross applesauce, eating this, watching TV. This is delicious. I only took one scoop, so I didn't double dip. If anyone wants,
you can double dip.
All right. Well,
going.
Sean, did you try that?
Yeah, I tried. Yeah, it's great, man.
Yeah. Oh, you can't eat because of the game, right?
Yeah, man. Stomach's a little off the rails.
Yeah.
Right now, so I don't wanna...
It might settle your stomach, some vanilla.
Yeah, I mean, I could. Well,
Yes, it's just so good.
Try that, man.
Okay.
All right, I got to
will.
stop eating because we need to do a podcast.
Yeah,
That's
we do.
really gold.
I've never told you guys this, I don't think, but my family was in the ice cream game.
That's right, man.
Do you know that?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's right.
So regional.
Yeah.
Peevely Dairy, my great something started. And then, so it was, milk, everything involved in a dairy, but ice cream was a big part of their business. And it was kind of it was like the classy kind of higher end stuff. But in a regional, they did this amazing peppermint ice cream that they would just do at Christmas time. Anyway, eventually they sold to Prairie Farms, big old powerhouse. But yeah, when I was growing up until probably mid 90s, we were in the dairy game.
So did you get all the ice cream you wanted? And you guys, were there special things or?
Yeah, so we go over to I remember going to my great grandparents all the time, and they had first people I ever knew that had 2 refrigerators, and then it was the only standalone freezer that I had ever seen in my life, and it was just packed all the time with everything. Awesome. They made this thing called the Brown Cow, which was basically just like basically an ice cream bar with like the shell on it. Yeah, Randy knows. And I mean, we just ate them just constantly. And I still have stickers from back, probably 80s and 90s. Yeah, pull up that Brown Cow. Let's see it. But yeah, Peevely ice cream was like, it's pretty good. But they discontinued. They don't use that brand anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to get them to bring it back. But anyway.
Peevely's a town. Is that where it started?
Yeah, so it started Peevely, Missouri.
Yeah,
is where it started. It was
There's
just
a racetrack there.
My great, whatever it was, had a horse, and he'd bring around the, they had dairy cows or whatever, and then he'd just take his little horse around, and they'd sell the ice cream and milk and everything else to people.
That's cool. So back into the history a little bit, we were talking about Haagen-Dazs. Haagen-Dazs were bullies. These guys want to get into, Ben and Jerry want to get into the premium ice cream thing. And they have their store, and they're doing well. People are showing up and buying them. And they're like, we're going to start going to grocery stores. And I think it was in the New England area, maybe Boston specifically. They were going in the grocery stores, and Haagen-Dazs went around and said, hey, if you want Ben and Jerry's, if you're going to carry that, you're not getting any of our stuff, which is illegal. I think it's antitrust type stuff. But Ben and Jerry's sort of asked some lawyers, and they're like, it was Pillsbury that owned Haagen-Dazs at the time. And Ben and Jerry's asked the lawyers, and they're like, you can go up against them, but they're going to kill you. It's Pillsbury. They have too much money. Mm-hmm. You can't do anything about it. So they were like, all right, we're going to fight. We're going to fight, and we're going to find a way on. So they started with this campaign, what's the Doughboy afraid of? And I love this.
Wow.
I love it.
I love it. And
that's fire.
They had these graphics of like the Pillsbury Doughboy squeezing, like strangling a carton of Ben and Jerry's. And they went all in on it. They tried several things. Like at one point they had, I think it was Ben or Jerry that was basically a one-man picket guy in Minneapolis in front of Pillsbury. That didn't work that well. People just thought he looked like, because he's like this. Right. They're hippies, man. They just thought this is like every other crazy homeless person. Bearded guy walking back and forth shouting. And then they took out an ad, I think like a classified ad in Rolling Stone magazine, and like saying, what's the Doughboy afraid of? And at one point, they just started putting stuff on their cartons in like a 1-800 number, like, what's the Doughboy afraid of? And then people were calling, and then they got them to call Pillsbury, and they got them to call the authorities, and Pillsbury finally backed off.
Wow.
I love this story for a lot of reasons. Number one, also the media picked up on it when they started putting this stuff on. The customer-centered approach worked. We started getting around 100 calls a day on the line. They had an 800 number on the carton, mostly between midnight and 3 a.m. That's when. Yeah. And the chairman of the board of Pillsbury is flooded with letters, and then the New Yorker magazine wrote an article about it, and the Boston Globe, and the Hartford Courant, and the Wall Street Journal, and the New York Times, and finally they kind of won.
The Doughboy backed down.
The Doughboy backed down, and here's the thing: I went up against the Doughboy.
Did you?
Yeah, I was in the food business. A lot of our listeners know about this, but I worked for a company called Procter & Gamble. I went head to head with these monsters. I had Duncan Hines, and they had Pillsbury in the cake mix and frosting category. And I didn't care for some of the stuff they did. Now, we were category leader. We were, we were, Sean. We were.
So how accurate was that Jerry Seinfeld Frosted movie? Because they kind of talked about the villainous of or how cutthroat the that industry is. Just the
I
food
didn't watch the
industry.
film
right.
yet.
He lived it.
I lived it. It was tough, man. I mean, here's what they would do that I didn't care for. A couple of things. They just junked up the frosting show. Like they'd throw in like 50 different frosting SKUs that are basically the same thing. This
Like
thing called
confetti or something like
Funfetti. Funfetti.
Yeah.
And it's
Funfetti.
like, we got vanilla frosting with candy guitars, vanilla frosting with candy hearts, vanilla frosting. It's like those are all different SKUs, and they're taking up a ton of the shelf space. And they get all this shelf space. And then they came in cheap around Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
They came in real cheap, and they just
Is that called loss leader?
No, I mean,
What is a loss leader? That you literally lose money to sell it, but the idea is then your name's out there more?
The Costco pizza.
The
Costco.
loss leader?
Yeah.
The loss leader would be the grocery store would decide we're going to lose money on this item to get people in the door, and then they're going to buy a bunch of the other stuff that we're making money.
At like Target and Best Buy, it was CDs. They would lose money on CDs. So you know, being in the music business, you wanted to be in there. So you'd get them cheaper there than anywhere else because they knew if that's the place people go to get music, they'll get them in the store, and then the store will do the rest. So
Yeah. No, they lost a lot of money on your CDs, didn't they?
because they sold so many. Every time they sold one,
I guess, digging my own grave on that.
Yeah.
just fine. But you get in those stores, and it's a big deal because people are snatching them up.
Yeah. So Pillsbury, I didn't care for some of the stuff they did. And they'd come in cheap. You want the Christmas ad and you want the Thanksgiving ad when you're in the cake mix business. And they would get it a lot of times because they'd come in and be like, yeah, we'll just load you up. Well, then but if you want it, you got to buy a ton of it. And then, so they're just sitting on Pillsbury. Like they got a bunch of Pillsbury in the back all the way into like May, There's a bunch of inventory, but that's not fresh product. You guys are having to buy not fresh product. And they're like, Duncan Hines, we can't buy a bunch of your stuff because we're loaded up with Pillsbury.
It's kind of like road clubs. They'd book out all the road comics like 18 months out, and then you're like a new comic trying to break in. And you're like, no, we're set for the next 5 years.
Yeah, we got you. Yeah.
That's what Pillsbury was doing.
5 years.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. And Betty Crocker was kind of in the middle. I didn't care so much for her either. But
Was it actually a lady?
Betty Crocker was here's what Betty did. Here's what Betty thinks of you women. Okay. here's what General Foods. Betty Crocker. They basically went around the office at the company, and they took like the best like quality of every woman in the office. They basically like, well, she's got pretty eyes, and she's got beautiful skin, and she's got great ears, and they built this fictional character, Betty Crocker. That's what Betty Crocker thinks of you women. None of you are beautiful enough on your own.
Holy moly.
You have to put together some amalgamation of you to get a desirable woman. That's what's happening when you're buying Betty Crocker. Duncan Hines never did it. They like you the way they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just a group of men, too, that created Betty Crocker.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And at no point in the meeting did anyone go, maybe we should bring a woman in.
What?
Are you insane?
What, are you crazy? Maybe we should bring a woman in. What are you, nuts? They don't know what women should look like. Yeah. That's
Yeah, it's a rough and tumble game over there, man.
Yeah.
Hearing all these stories with you, Greg, on this stuff. I don't know, man. I mean, I guess you're going to say that Jif probably had P&G had the best ethics. Oh, by the way, we got to correct them. Last week, in my dumb head, we're talking about Uncrustables. and none of us catch this. I'm so used to hearing Greg say Procter and Gamble that I was like, "Yeah, you go home and make a P&G sandwich."
Yeah.
No, you said PB&G.
PB&G sandwich.
Yeah.
But nobody's caught it. I'm like, did I really say that? I went back to the tape.
We all caught it.
You didn't catch it, or
we
you would have
caught it.
said something.
Dude, you say 50 stupid things.
55. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we
I'll
can't
give you
make
that.
the whole podcast about that, all right?
I know, man.
Tim and I have agreed. Just let him go.
Yeah, we
man.
pick our
let
battles.
Him go. Yeah. You can't, we're not.
Nobody said anything stupid last week.
Well, no, Tim said the dumbest thing that's ever been said on this
Not
podcast.
even that dumb.
What do you mean?
Well, like,
What's the- yeah,
we'll
let's
get to
Yeah,
it.
no,
we'll
let's-
get to
let's-
it.
What's the capital of Virginia, Zoltan?
Richmond?
It
Yeah,
is.
it is.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Good
You know what
job.
it's not?
No, what?
The District of Columbia.
So
Now, what-
insane.
Yeah, and
In
you
a
grew up-
race to get the right answer, I named
A state,
DC.
a
district.
Yeah, a district. Yeah, something that is not.
That's right there. It happens to be the capital of the country.
Yeah,
It's not
Wow.
that big a deal.
it's
I'm-
a pretty. No, it's dumb.
It's wrong.
It's dumb.
It is wrong.
It's
not
dumb.
a big deal.
It's dumb. Yeah, and you grew up mostly in California.
Yeah.
California. And what's the capital of California?
Sacramento.
It's Montana, right?
Yeah. Butte.
It's Mount Rushmore. That's the capital of California.
Yeah.
In fairness to Tim, I said the fastest mile was ran in 3 minutes and 90 seconds. So,
Is that not?
Otherwise,
well, it's
No one's
Now
run
I-
under 4 minutes,
The
right?
units.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I
90
was looking at like
seconds.
the down to the 100th of a second, and I just my little brain just
It's all right.
doesn't think before the
Yeah,
words
up
come
until
out,
last
and,
week, that was the dumbest thing that was said on this
Yeah.
podcast. Yeah.
Tim he's got the trophy.
Yeah.
I'm really
And
hoping we make it
and
through.
He won't even.
Yeah.
He won't even
I do.
admit it.
I just
man.
don't think it's. I mean, obviously, I was wrong. I just don't think it's. I said the wrong thing
Yeah.
in a race to get the answer quicker than the other guy.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think it was. I thought it was a little dumb.
We're gonna get to what you said that was dumb.
Oh, I said.
really?
I just talked about the car.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
pretty
incredibly
dumb.
dumb.
That was a dumb.
Wait,
thing.
is there more than the car?
Nah, just something on the Virginia. It's not a big deal. He's just wrong
okay.
about something that he
Oh,
was
perfect.
No, I'm wrong all the time.
busting chops about. Can we get back to the Ben and Jerry's, please?
Yeah, I would like
might
to.
run a few
I
of
would
these
like
to the
to.
freezer.
Yeah. Let's talk about. You want to run them in the freezer?
Yeah, I'm gonna run to the freezer.
Okay, good.
I think it's hilarious that we use coasters on this table that people criticize all the time. But Mookapotamus made these coasters for us, so we're like, hey,
It's
protect-
sort of a
protect-
running theme.
protect
with
the table.
It's
Yeah.
the
Yeah, man.
most vocal they are is they hate our table.
Real?
So
Oh, the
this thing.
fans?
The fans, the listeners,
Yeah.
the
The
viewers.
color
viewers, I
of
guess.
it? What
Yeah.
is it?
Everything.
Everything about it.
They want it
Yeah.
torched. They
Yeah.
want it gone.
They don't
off
like the
set.
table. They don't like the way it's
Wow.
built. They don't like the three guys that are sitting around it every week.
They hate me.
Yeah, and
It's just a
Randy,
mess.
Randy,
And Randy's
really
the hero.
built this table, and he takes it kind of personally. Randy, tell us about that.
The table. I don't take it personal. It's
I've seen you get upset.
no, I don't get upset. The color was designed to reflect the light up off of the table
Okay.
to your faces. We were going to buy a table. It was not in stock. And Josh McNew, the guy that helped us design the studio and get everything together, is like, dude, let's just build one. Just put these pieces of wood. We'll use your old desk and we'll make it happen. And we made it happen. And we have the table.
I like it, man. Thanks,
Yeah,
Randy.
it works, man. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
it's
Yeah,
good
thanks,
strategy,
buddy.
buddy.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Let's talk about the ice cream category. It's kind of hard sometimes to understand what the sales figures really are because you got to pay for that data. But there, you can kind of guess from some of the stuff they put on the internet. So this is what I'm thinking it is. Private label is the #1 brand of ice cream. Yeah.
What's that?
Like if where do you shop in LA? You shop at Ralph's or
Ralph's,
Yeah, you go to
Vons,
Ralph's. So
yeah.
Ralph's probably has their own. It's probably Kroger brand.
Oh, I
or-
see. So
yeah.
whatever. Okay. I see
Yeah,
what
whatever
you're
the
saying.
store
Okay.
brand is.
Or the
Yeah.
Walmart brand or the Costco brand.
Yeah,
The
all
Walmart
that makes
brand
sense.
has great
That's what-
value.
private
Yeah.
Private label.
Yeah,
Okay.
private label. Ben and Jerry's #2, Haagen-Dazs #3, Bluebell out of Texas,
Oh yeah.
Brenham, Texas, #4, Breyers, and then Dryers and Edie's, which I think is the same thing. It's just in different markets. One market it's Edie's, one market it's Dryers.
The Dryers and Briars thing has
Pretty weird.
always been wild. to me.
Sounds like a couple of brothers that hated each other.
Mhm.
Tillamook.
Sure.
I saw that today. Again, I've been out of the ice cream game for so long. I went to the freezer to buy all this stuff today, and I was like, oh yeah, Turkey Hill.
Tillamook doesn't mean cheese business.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, you're right. Turkey Hill, which I think they're a bunch of convenience stores somewhere.
Oh, really?
But Turkey Hill, I saw some today, so it's a big brand.
Okay.
Talenti, what you're talking about?
Yeah, the Italians.
Yeah, and then Blue Bunny, not to be confused with Blue Bell, Blue Bunny.
Yeah.
So those are your top
Now,
10 right there.
But these are like pretty much any grocery store. Or some are like Whole Foods type thing. Like, are they, just like
This is all
Who's selling the most?
who's selling
just
the most.
who's selling them?
You know, so
I guess
I would,
the last 5 I've never heard of is what I'm getting at.
I would bet. Well, I saw all of these in distribution today at Schnucks when I bought the Ben and Jerry's.
You did.
Blue
Okay, that's
Bell
what I'm getting at. All right.
just came to St. Louis
Bluebell
this year.
Bluebell is regional. Brenham, Texas, and they're sort of making their way across the country.
Yeah.
And when I lived in Houston, the people in Texas, because it wasn't as big back then, it was more just Texas and maybe Arkansas, Louisiana, or something. And it was made in Brenham, Texas, which is a little town about an hour outside of Houston. And all the Texas people were like, "This is the best ice cream. It's so good because they make it right here in Brenham." And I would just like to get them fired up. I'd be like, "No, Ben and Jerry's is better." I'd be like, "No, it's right here in Texas." I'm like, "Well, yeah, but Ben and Jerry's is everywhere. If this was so good, then everywhere would have it."
Yeah.
And they get furious at me.
Yeah, loyalty.
Yeah,
Civic pride.
I love Ben and Jerry's so much.
I do too.
I think it
Completely
is
agree.
one of the greatest. And here, I do like that premium thing because it's like ice cream. Maybe people with healthy relationships with food, they can probably have ice cream as a regular part of their diet or a regular part of their life. For me, it's like, all right, I'm going to have it and I'm going to have it big.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do, I want the best thing possible.
Yeah.
I don't care what it costs. And then I got to never have it again.
Yes.
So like I'm going all in. So if you're gonna have ice cream, let's go. Let's get the good stuff.
Yeah, shoot for the stars.
Yeah.
Let's eat it all. Like if you guys weren't here, I would have finished that entire tub.
We'll bring
Yeah.
it back out. Yeah.
No, I
We just
can't.
did-
Well, shame.
No,
But-
yeah. You got a show tonight, man.
Yeah, I know. I gotta go talk to
Yeah,
people.
Sean's got something even bigger. He's got a
Yeah.
football
Yeah,
game. He's
man.
got to
If Bills
play.
start losing, I'll start puking it up. Can't deal with that.
Can we not, man? Not on the ice cream podcast. Talk about getting sick.
Actually, I had a question.
Sure, buddy.
Because I was thinking how big Ben and Jerry's is, and the thing they did about putting all the stuff into their ice cream.
Yeah,
I wonder if they influenced like the Cold Stone model,
and they had to, right?
right?
They had to. And that I'm really glad you asked that question because I think that's part of the adventure of eating Ben and Jerry's is you get caught up in like I got to get
Yeah.
another one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good bite, but there's a better one down
Yeah.
there somewhere. I gotta keep digging, and then you just keep looking for the perfect bite and like that. A half of an Oreo instead of a quarter of an Oreo in your ice cream, and you're like, I got it, and then you keep digging, and then you're like, there's no more left, and you're like, I just ate a pint of ice cream in 10 minutes. And Cold Stone's the same thing because they mix it all up, right?
Yeah, and you get to choose, and I don't definitely Ben and Jerry's was around before Cold Stone.
Yeah, I gotta
I'm pretty
think
sure
there wouldn't be
Yeah.
Cold Stone without Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah.
I have a funny Cold Stone story.
Now, did you order a tea there?
No. So there's this guy named Freddie DeMarco who owned a club a comedy club in Columbia, Missouri named Deja Vu, and I worked for him when I was in college, and that's my first introduction to comedy. And Fred is this Italian guy who's like kind of like a comedy father to me. And Fred was in the bar business, and then he got into comedy. He was in the nightclub business forever, and he retired. He sold the club, and he's like, I had a building. He had a building, and Cold Stone wanted to go into his building, so he's kind of like semi-retirement, but he'd been in the bar business his whole life. So he's used to talking to customers in a certain harsh manner. And they used to have like these brownies that they would put out at Cold Stone. You could buy a brownie in addition. So some lady walks in there and she takes a brownie. She started eating the brownie, and Freddie goes, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?" She goes, I thought they were free samples. He goes, "Yeah, I'm going to give away free samples of the full brownies. Get out of here. Get out of here." He threw her out of the ice cream store. He got like a letter or a phone call from corporate a day later. Like you can't yell at the customers and throw them out of the ice cream store. He's like, "Hey, get out of here. Get out of here. We don't want you here anymore. You're stealing brownies."
Freddie's a madman.
It's the only Cold Stone with a bouncer.
Yeah. Fred worked in the nightclub business. Yeah. He was used to. He's a great guy, but sometimes you have a bit of an adversarial restaurant.
I think so.
Relationship with
Freddie
trouble.
probably liked confrontation. He's kind of against it. I bet you Freddie was maybe for it.
He wasn't afraid of it.
I'm not saying he certainly wasn't afraid of it.
And he wasn't afraid to give you the business.
That's what I'm saying. If you were a
Yeah.
comic and you had some problems on stage, I think he'd let you know about it. I'm pretty sure.
Cold Stone, they have a thing where if you tip, they have to sing a song.
Yeah.
I would have loved it if this dude had to sing.
Not for the song. We don't want any song. They called him at one point, and they I think it was maybe after the Brownie incident. They were like, "Hey, but your numbers are they're doing really good." He goes, "I don't need the attaboys. I don't need the attaboys."
I love this guy.
Oh, I hope you can meet him. He was the funniest, coolest comedy club owner, and I would not be a comic without him. Like when I finally quit my day job, he told me it was probably a bad idea. And then he called like all these clubs, and I had like 6 months of work because of Fred.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Good guy.
Oh yeah, you guys have both met him, right?
Oh yeah.
A couple times, yeah.
Yeah. He's
Great.
He's a character. Yeah, but you say when you do bad as a comic,
I'm just saying, you would. He's not going to just ignore you. He's going to let you know that you are not good or whatever. You screwed up.
I mean, I don't want to make this the Fred episode because there's 80 stories about like him, some comic, because it was a bar downstairs, a nightclub, not just a bar.
Yeah.
So their money was made downstairs, and he was all about time. He's like, there's a headliner, you do 40 minutes. You do 40 minutes, feature action, you do 15. I need him downstairs drinking. Like, that's where I make my money. And these guys, he said to some guys, like, I just need 35 tonight. And the guy goes, well, Freddie, I'm a headliner. Because I don't do 35 minutes. I do an hour. I do 60. I do 60. I'll do 40. Okay, just do 40. I do 60. Do 40 tonight. So the guy goes up and he has a bad set. He goes, hey, I guess you picked the wrong 40, huh? Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of them, man. A lot of them. These guys.
Hey, can I jump in?
Yeah,
Not about the Freddie. Wait. I just want to touch on what we just talked about.
Yeah.
When you tip at Cold Stone Creamery, they do what?
They sing a song.
They sing a song. They
All of them?
Yeah.
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 Well,
Yeah.
then the line's got to be pretty bad. You're not scooping ice cream if you're singing.
What are you talking about? Some people can
See-
actually do two things at one time, Sean.
I can't.
Yeah, that's not the.
I mean, I'm just saying. Do you see what I'm saying? Let's hear this. You
Yeah.
tip, and then so everyone like, what?
Yeah, they
explain
don't
to
go.
me, what are they
They
singing?
don't go to show tunes. It's not a choreographed number. It's like what is
Yeah.
it? Is it
So
always
just
the same
like-
thing? I don't
It's
even
the
remember.
same
Oh, it's the
song, I
same.
think.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
And it's just like
Yeah.
It's Coldplay.
some sort.
That'd be nice, man. Although that could be copyright infringement. But Coldplay, Cold
They're
Stone.
ASCAP.
All right, well, we got the bottom of it. So. A little obnoxious.
You
to
should
me, I'm just
experience
saying,
it.
like-
It's fun.
and I'm
It's
all about,
fun.
I like tipping, but I'd probably tip more if they just said thank you. and
Nah,
then we left.
yeah, right.
You don't think that you could scoop ice cream and sing at the same time?
Have you ever seen people sing and dance at the same
Twice.
Musical.
twice.
Yeah, musical.
Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys are they're very, very they're activists.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of great things. They are passionate. Couple of my favorite things, that ice cream flavor, chocolate fudge brownie, which I think is the greatest food in the world. We buy brownies from a bakery in the Bronx run by a Buddhist community that works to house the homeless and train them to become bakers. Pretty cool, right?
Is that a haiku?
There's a lot of bees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Buddhist bakers.
You guys aren't impressed.
No, I mean,
No,
that's
it was. I was just the alliteration grabbed me so much.
Yeah.
It was
It wasn't on purpose.
okay.
brown.
So
This is
say it again. Say it again. Let me take it in.
A bakery in the Bronx run by a Buddhist community that works to house the homeless and train them to become bakers.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Pretty cool stuff,
That's
isn't it? They purchased Brazil nuts. I bet that's from New York Super Fudge Chunk. I don't know if that's still around.
Well,
Through a nonprofit organization called Cultural Survival that supports people who live in the rainforest, thereby demonstrating the rainforest can be more profitable as a living forest than as land turned into plantations by cutting down the trees.
really?
There's a ton of this stuff. They in '85 they started the Ben and Jerry's Foundation. I think it was like 7.5% of their pre-tax profits went to this foundation, and the
Wow.
foundation does a lot of cool stuff.
And are they still with us? And are they still running the show?
They sold it in 2000 to Unilever.
Oh,
who
right.
does a lot of ice cream stuff. A British company.
Yeah. And are they in the soap game too?
Unilever was at one point they were Lever Brothers, which had Surf and we went up against them. I wasn't in the soap sector; I was food beverage, but
Sure.
Tide went up head to head against Surf.
We all know how that ended.
Tide whooped up on them.
Yeah, they always do.
Yeah, I've never heard of the other one.
Cleaned
Surf.
up.
Yeah.
They cleaned up.
They did. Outstanding. But yeah, they're not in the soap business anymore. Unilever's not. They definitely have ice cream. They're Magnum, which is a big ice cream brand.
That's a
yeah.
good one,
Yeah,
too.
Those are very good.
Yeah, those are more ice cream bars, aren't they?
Yeah,
that's what I
Novelty
think
type
of.
stuff.
Similar to the brown cow I referenced earlier. That's what. Yeah.
Yeah, they probably stole that from your great grandfather.
Yeah, they did. I should make some phone calls there. Call Kanzler.
Yeah, they're very, very passionate, and they're activists. Some stuff you might disagree with, some stuff you might. Most of their stuff's most everything they do. No matter what your political persuasion, would be like, oh wow, these guys are doing some good work.
These guys they're early 70s. These guys,
Okay, yeah,
Ben and Jerry.
and I don't think they're involved in the day to day.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. Let's go to fun facts because I know there's a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah, I would
there.
love to. When I think of Ben and Jerry's, I think about the City Slickers. You know, they did the Ira and Barry who ran the ice cream thing. It was kind of a play on Ben.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
David Paymer and that Josh Mostel.
Yeah.
Whatever
Oh,
it
they
is.
were great in that. Man.
So funny.
Yeah.
And there's this scene where they had everybody just name a meal and he would tell you what ice cream pairs with it.
Yeah, rum raisin.
Yeah, and they got real. He's like, how do you know he's right?
Yeah. And they were like, "Oh, that's perfect."
He's
He goes,
never
"Well, how do you know he's
It's an
right?"
ice cream sommelier.
so good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great, man.
Ben and Jerry's has a flavor graveyard at their headquarters in Waterbury, Vermont. You can see headstones for the discontinued flavors like Wavy Gravy, Chocolate Comfort, Vermonti Python, Peanut Butter and Jelly, Economic Crunch, and Creme Brulee. About 300,000 people go there every year.
Wow.
Just a gravestone.
Yeah, it's. I looked at. You can look at a video of it online, and they have these headstones, and they have the name of the ice cream, and they have like the from 1986 to 1989 or whatever. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Now, some flavors can come back from the dead. For example, they got rid of White Russian in 1996. It was really popular, but the flavoring got too expensive for them to make those. So customers complained a ton. Eventually, they brought it back. But that one is only in the scoop shops. We haven't talked about that too much, but obviously it's the big retail game, but they have the shops still. That can't be that much of their revenue in the,
I wouldn't
in
think
the big
so,
picture.
but I don't know. Yeah,
But I think
there's
those
two in
shops
St.
do
Louis.
okay.
Yeah,
There was one at the Galleria for a while.
I don't
the
think
mall.
it's there anymore. I think
Okay.
there's one in the Loop in U City.
Oh, still?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I went by there today. I don't know if they still have those ice cream, the Peace Pops they were called. I think they were like ice cream bars. I was gonna get those because I thought it would be easier for us to eat, and they didn't have them at the grocery store. I'm like, well, maybe they got them at the Ben and Jerry's place, and they didn't have them. So
The ones I go to the most, there was one in my neighborhood in Brooklyn that wasn't too far. That I went too far.
Brooklyn's
far too often.
Although Brooklyn's probably got their own version of hippie ice cream.
Oh,
like,
they do
like
the
high end
that
crazy
Van
stuff.
Leeuwen stuff.
Yeah.
And cars go by.
Fancy.
Yeah. And then where my brother lives up in Lake Placid, there's one on the strip up there that's pretty cool. The mascot of Ben and Jerry's is that cow that you see on all the. We put the things away, but named Woody. Woody was painted by the artist Woody Jackson. So Ben of Ben and Jerry's had seen the artist, these cow pictures floating around Vermont and was like, who is that? Finally found a phone number. That phone number was Woody's ex-girlfriend. The ex-girlfriend put Ben in touch with the real Woody, and the rest is history.
It's a healthy breakup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking of a couple of my ex-girlfriends. If they got that phone call, and I don't think they would have gone out of their way to make sure
Find
that
them, let me know.
I got a job. They would be like, No, he's a terrible cow
Yeah.
drawer.
Yeah. She
he's
calls her new boyfriend first and is like, can you draw a cow?
You really want that? They're awful cow drawings. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll draw you a cow.
Do you know he does these like in 2 seconds, and he stole them from somebody? Like he's not a good cow drawer.
And he's irresponsible. He sleeps all day.
Yeah.
Having a pet-friendly office is one of the biggest benefits that employers can offer to help care for the emotional well-being of employees. That's a study that's been done many times. It's exactly what Ben and Jerry's do. Employees are allowed to bring their dogs with them to work.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
They call them K9-to-5ers.
How do you like that?
Nice.
There's a lot of
Wordplay, Sean.
wordplay in everything they do.
Yeah,
You know, with the titles. And Tim's a big pun guy. I think you could write for them. I think
love
you
a
could
good
work for
pun.
Ben and Jerry's.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I got the, it's in my blood, the ice cream thing. And
Yeah.
I love a good pun. That's a great idea. I wonder what it pays. Speaking of wordplay, their slogan now is Vermont's finest, which I think is classy. I like it. Their first slogan, lick it. Ben and Jerry's, lick it.
I get where they were going.
Yeah.
Well, it's right on the nose.
Yeah,
right,
a little
right there.
lazy, but
Yeah. I have a feeling because it was in 78 that they started. If they would have started that today, that might have been, people would be like, yeah, man.
get behind it.
Yeah, lick it.
I wonder if the first person they pitched it to, they were like, there's no rush. You can take more time. Like, you don't have to have this done now. Take another day.
The first failed flavors in Ben and Jerry's history: lemon peppermint carob chip
Yeah.
and honey apple raisin Oreo.
I don't see any reason to have raisins in ice cream.
Yeah.
They took big swings,
Yeah.
though. You got to. The first hit flavor for them: mint Oreo cookie, peppermint ice cream plus Oreo cookie pieces that Ben and Jerry crushed into chunks with a hammer themselves.
I think I might have just had, I think I had the non-dairy version of that. It
Was
very
no
good.
one doing mint Oreo before them?
I don't know, man. But that's such a good thing.
Part of our lives now.
A great thing.
When you see like old ice cream parlors in movies, like in the 50s, with the doo-wop, doodle-doo-doo-bop, it's very plain ice
Wait a
cream.
minute, do that again.
Doo-wop, doodle-doo-doo-bop.
Do what you're doing with your hands and do that.
I can't. Now I'm thinking.
Yeah. See?
I don't know if you saw it.
Sean,
He
you were
was
right.
making ice cream and singing.
Oh yeah.
This is a smarter man
He
than
did.
me.
He was doing it, and now I got in his head. But he was making ice cream and singing.
Of course,
I don't know if
man.
you just saw what happened there.
I saw it
I think
all.
that might have supported Sean's theory more. I mean, he got jammed up. He got jammed up when you have
But
to do
these
it
guys
again.
aren't jammed up, man. They're
And he's
very
also
good.
not a professional at it.
No,
too.
these
I
are
mean, this
pros.
guy's just doing it on the fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why he's a smart, handsome man, and I'm a dum-dum. That's the way the world works.
Check this out. Employees at Ben & Jerry's talk about emotional well-being. If you work at headquarters, you can take home 3 pints a day.
Yes.
Here you go.
I wonder what their health insurance premiums are.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
That's amazing, though, isn't
That's
it?
awesome.
Could
That's
you
great.
just never be unhappy? Be like, well, I'm going to take home 3 things of ice cream.
Yeah.
You're right, though. Their
nice,
insurance guy has to be like, we have to rethink this
Yeah.
policy.
Yeah. This,
But then, and the thing is, they can't eat them all. So the neighbors must just love them.
I love that.
The neighbors must just. I mean, just think that's 21 pints in a week. You're building. So you're building a supply. man.
Hold on, let me see if that's right.
It's also a
That
great
is
way
right.
to.
His
Yeah,
math
he-
checks,
oh.
guys.
It's
He
a
just
great
did it
way
in his
to
head, so.
prevent like theft is by letting them take stuff. Because I worked at jobs where they didn't allow us to take anything, and we took it.
Yeah.
And but if they just would have given us some, we probably wouldn't have stolen any.
You don't look like it, man. But you get into you get into shoplifting a little bit in your last special.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was light shot. I worked at a medical supply warehouse.
Okay.
So like one time I dislocated my finger at work,
Yeah.
and they gave me a really cheap splint, and so I just went to aisle 40, went up to the top, got a better splint, and I was like, "That's mine."
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't
Oh,
blame
Tim's
you.
the guy that rationalizes stealing all the time.
What?
We're not going to get into it. No. It's the
Remember
the
he
fork.
stole that fork from the barbecue
The
restaurant?
fork
Yeah,
at the barbecue
yeah,
restaurant.
That's the, I stole from Greg yesterday. I mean, I guess technically.
The emergency?
Yeah, but I'm not counting that. That's shareable.
I didn't care about that.
I took 2 emergencies, but I did take a bottle of water from the hotel last night. And I forgot to pay you. So I mean, is that stealing? No, it's not stealing because they got paid, but you got shorted $5.
You've been doing that forever.
No, because usually my card's on file.
No.
So I owe you 5. So.
I went to
it's
at the special in Columbus. I had all these hotel. I had a bunch of people staying in a hotel, and I got their hotels. And I think he was the only one that charged a bunch of stuff to it. I'm
That's
like,
not true, man. Last night was
What
a
you had to do.
Last night it was just a crazy. It was crazy night. The show went pretty long, and then we're running around, and there was an issue at the hotel, and we were getting all dithered, and it was just a big mess.
There it was.
There it
Dithered?
is. Dithered is what we Sean does a thing we call the
So dumb.
word of the week.
This is the
Word of
dumbest
the week.
thing.
Word of the
Dithered.
week.
And this was not
Dithered.
like. By the way, I didn't bring this to the table. Like, guys, what we're gonna do? I'm gonna say some goofy stuff every week,
No,
and then
he tried to slide one in on us, and then we were like,
Yeah.
"You obviously have some sort of calendar."
I said the word engender, and they were like,
Engender.
"Yeah,
I don't
Yes,
know.
He
mine.
was telling a comedy story. He's like,
Yeah.
so, it
Engendered results.
engendered a laugh. And we're like,
what?
to produce.
That's
I
the
know.
first word we've heard you say over 3 syllables ever."
All right, let's talk about
And I couldn't even just say ever.
Let's talk about dithered.
Dithered.
Flustered.
Flummoxed.
Just
Flustered.
Synonymous?
Flustered is really the way to say it.
dithered.
Can't make up your mind, confused.
Dithered.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Or dither. I think I used it as a verb, but it's dither.
Basically, we feel that
Dither.
as people listen to this podcast, their IQ goes down. So we need something.
100%.
We need something to bring it up and even it out. So we have Sean do a word of the week that he tries to slide in every
If you
yeah.
Google the word, it's like Michelangelo's David that I don't know who we're looking at right now.
I don't know who that is. That who that is?
Dither
Michael?
is-
Oh, wow. So that's what you call. Okay. Do you see what's going on with that picture? When you add noise, it's called noise. And like when you're doing
We're looking at a screen, guys. For the listeners.
Photoshop.
Yeah.
So you make it blurrier through. I don't even know how to describe this, but that's called
Not
dither.
how you're doing it.
Dither is an
Oh.
intentionally applied form of noise used to randomize quantization error, preventing large-scale patterns such as color banding in images. That is really interesting. But I think that's different. Well, no, I guess it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. I mean,
Dither
it's-
as a verb means to be indecisive, as in he was dithering about the election date.
yeah, you use it correctly, Sean.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, you still stole water from me.
I did.
No, you know, I'll tell you right now, buddy, and I mean this. If I ever have you at a hotel and I'm paying for the hotel, you get whatever you want, man. You get whatever you want. I don't like nickel and diamond. I've never been a nickel and dime guy. You want to get something downstairs, get it. Okay.
No, I usually don't. But that was one of those things. It was sometimes hotels will have the free water, like the
Right.
little complimentary, and then
Yeah.
sometimes they're like, "Oh, this looks nice. Here's a Fiji," and then they got the little $5 sticker around it, and
Yeah.
I actually cracked it, and I'm like, that's gonna be on the card because obviously,
I can swing it, buddy.
How
no,
did
you can. So
How did you use the word?
He
I
used it
can't,
correctly,
dude.
man. He said I was dithering around.
At the comedy show.
Yeah, he said I was dithering around. not
Yeah, we got
knowing.
it on
I was
tape.
being
You were
indecisive.
dithered, I think he said.
No, he didn't. He said he said I was
dithering?
dithering, and I was a
Okay.
little indecisive last night.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I was
we were
still
like, do
shaken
we
up by
stay?
the whole tea thing.
Sure.
yeah,
I
he,
get it.
Yeah, he was a mess with his tea.
Yeah.
Still is.
Dither. That's a good one, man. I'm impressed.
I'm not proud of it, but hey, you know it's past. It got us through the episode.
Yeah. More facts.
Yeah.
Over at Ben & Jerry's, they get about 13,000 suggestions a year for new flavors. You can imagine. They review each and every submission for consideration. Cherry Garcia, for example, came from a suggestion. 2 Deadheads from Portland, Maine said, "What about Cherry Garcia?" It's a great idea.
It's
For Deadheads.
Great. It was a great idea.
Yeah.
It was. I felt like the impression of the Deadheads was
Left something.
vanilla. Like I felt like you didn't put much into it.
Like no Venom's.
It was like a hack impression of.
I wasn't gonna do the,
Grateful
like,
Dead. Nah, don't do that.
Yeah.
I just want you to picture right now. Close your eyes.
Okay.
Picture somebody that you know that likes the Grateful Dead,
Okay.
and just do them.
Hey, man, how about Cherry Garcia?
But see, that's much more specific, isn't
Pretty
it?
good.
Okay.
Do you guys
See
get
me
the
do the hair?
specificity of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see that, man? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think his first try was that bad. But
Thank you,
I
Sean.
mean,
It wasn't.
a little critical.
It wasn't bad at all.
I just it's the specificity. I could tell there. You know who's the guy?
I'd rather not say.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's private.
I
Yeah,
brought
okay.
two different guys together on that one. Actually.
Oh, an
Yeah,
amalgamation.
I pictured
yeah,
both
just
of them.
like they did with Betty Crocker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. You're
5 different women.
right. 2 different guys. Yeah. Let's break it down. The top 10 flavors of 2024.
Oh, this is what I've been waiting for.
We're gonna start at the bottom. Number 10, milk and cookies,
You just had the
which is the
non-dairy version.
It's their cookies and cream. Yeah.
Great.
Number 9, chunky monkey.
Banana flavored, I imagine.
Number 8, Americone Dream. That is the one with Stephen Colbert on the carton.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Number 7, we all love it. Fish food. Fish with a PH like the band.
The band.
Pretty cool. Number 6, the Tonight Dough. That is the one with Fallon on the carton.
Did you try that?
No, but it was
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not tried it.
I meant the ice cream. I know you haven't been on the show.
I have been on the show and not tried the ice cream.
That's right. Tim was on the show. Tim was in a rock and roll band, and
Oh,
yeah, they were on the Tonight Show.
that's awesome.
Yeah. It was the Leno version, so it was a little different than the Fallon's on the ice cream. Number 5, strawberry cheesecake.
It's a surprise one.
Number 4, chocolate chip cookie dough. I'm a big fan.
I forgot to mention I got way into that for a while because it wasn't. Now it's like, oh, cookie dough ice cream, but man, when that first discovered that, I was like, what? That sounds disgusting. And then I had it. I'm like, oh my gosh,
You know?
this is amazing.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Number 3, chocolate fudge brownie.
The greatest food that you can eat ever.
Number 2, cherry Garcia. Number 1, half-baked.
I haven't had half-baked.
What's in that one?
Half-baked is, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to have Randy look it up, but I think it's cookie dough.
Okay.
It's the dough idea.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was like
Meaning
8
it's not
different
fully
things in that
baked. I think it's a handful of different kinds of things. There might even be some brownie
Do you
bits
know what
in
it is? Because you're dithering around right now. And
No, I'm fully dithered. I admit it.
Oh, there's molasses.
Molasses?
Cookie dough, fudge brownies.
Oh, it's basically they took chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream and fudge brownie ice cream and put it together.
Yep.
And it's got chocolate and vanilla ice cream. Yeah, that looks pretty good, man. Nice. Molasses. Real good.
Half-baked, yeah. Those are your top 10 flavors of 2024, and those are your fun facts.
Outstanding.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Glad to be a part of it.
You want to get to comments?
I would love to.
We have.
What are we talking about?
We have some listeners.
You read the comments that they leave?
We take a look at some of the comments. Some things are hurtful, and we try not to say those, But
So these Zoltan, these are comments left on the YouTube videos,
Okay.
as well as in the Facebook Consumers Podcast fan page,
Okay.
which we'd invite you to join. It's a really strong,
I'm in.
strong thing. First comments, as always, on the set. Alan Adair 8890 commented on YouTube. He said, "But seriously, guys, it's the desk or me." To which Greg responded, "The desk."
I didn't like him taking shots at the. I mean, I don't mind taking shots at the desk, but don't give us ultimatum. Trust me. If we lose you, buddy, we don't want to lose you because now we're down to 9 listeners. But I mean, they're not going to push us.
We
into
can
it. They're
afford-
not going to push us into it.
We can afford to
Yeah.
lose Alan Adair.
I don't
Sorry
wanna
to see you go.
held hostage.
No, I mean that's where Christ like he's has dignity, loyalty. It's like he can't get bought out with Skippy last week or a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
he's got.
We'll get into that.
Oh, is that on deck?
Oh, yeah.
Carry on.
More on the set. Keith Berkey on the Consumers Podcast fan page said, "Today I learned they don't film the podcast in a converted cinder block gas station."
These hurt.
Get ready for this.
They are fun though.
Get ready for this one before we move on from the set. Michael Birdwell on the Consumers Podcast fan page said, "Your logo, thumbnails, and intro music are on point, but your set looks like a food pantry in a church basement."
Boom, dunked on.
Well,
It's a nice church.
it isn't. Thank you.
This is-
Thank you.
Thanks the positive.
Yeah,
Randy
that's-
loved it.
That's someone that didn't grow up poor. You've obviously
Yeah.
never been into the church basement of their pantry.
Doesn't look like this?
No.
All right.
No.
And probably not name brands either.
No, not name brands.
Yeah.
There's no-
It would not last. Those Pringles would not last long.
It's Hunt's ketchup. Yeah, it's not good. This is the nicest podcast that I've ever been on. I don't know why anyone's taking shots at any of this.
Thanks,
you guys,
man.
look at all the work that went into
We
this.
did put work and
Yeah.
money into this.
It's so
and
nice.
they just keep taking shots. It hurts.
And you got a
Wow.
gift.
Yeah, look. They gave me a shirt. And there's mugs. I don't know if the mug's mine, but the shirt's mine.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, these are
No one gives stuff out.
going to be available soon on the Nate store. We just haven't got that all worked out, but we have them now. We have them.
We gave Randy his.
Randy's got a shirt.
Nate is off this week, so we shipped it to him, but they are making
Yeah.
the rotations. These comments were left on the Uncrustables episode. So Uncrustables comments and comments specific to that episode. Jason Duffy, 5041, said, "It's 4 a.m. I'm housing an Uncrustable and watching this episode. Life is good."
How many of you guys eaten since we did the episode?
Oh, 3.
I had a lot.
I almost broke. Did you see at the hotel last night?
Yeah.
They had a whole thing
They
of
had
them.
them in there.
And I was tired. I was cranky, and I'm like, I'm gonna eat 19 of these. But I buttoned it up. I was like, don't do
Have
it.
you ever
And
eaten an Uncrustable?
No, I've never had one.
We never had them until last
Amazing.
week. And
Unbelievable.
It's so amazing.
They're
man.
PB&J sandwiches.
Yeah,
Yes.
but they're
Yeah.
like sealed. It's like, think of a ravioli,
Mm-hmm.
red
Dude,
ravioli.
it's stupid.
They taste far more remarkable than you I was
Correct.
I immediately, you're like, yeah, I know what that is. Great.
Yeah.
Something magical when you
What
have
is
one.
that when the sum is greater than the whole is greater than the sum of its parts?
I think that's just that phrase. Is there
Something.
Synergy.
There you go,
Is
buddy.
that right?
Wait,
Yeah,
that's what synergy
That's what
is?
synergy means. Yeah.
Randy?
Things come together.
When the
Yeah.
sum is...
The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. When you put everything together, they work together so much that they make this greatest thing. It's not just, hey, you got peanut butter, you got jelly. It's like, oh no, they do this. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
The typical American said of that episode, "I'm amazed Greg didn't find a way to compare the toughness of the scalloped edges of an Uncrustable to the obvious toughness that a cauliflower ear represents.
Boom.
Yeah.
How'd you miss that?
Yeah. Shot at my ear.
This one I love. Tyler Bunch of Numbers said, I get Greg not wanting to mooch products, especially from old corporate buddies.
Yeah.
That said, you'd think these brands would flood Randy with free stuff just because of his time with the Stones.
Yeah.
Nice.
Randy toured with Greg Allman's
Oh, wow.
son.
Oh,
And, yeah, they were in a band together. Randy played bass.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Randy played bass. So we like to talk about, we say he's been in every band. Yeah. We say he was in the Allman Brothers, Rolling Stones,
Hell yeah.
Kiss, Journey.
He was. I mean, we're not. Yeah,
He was in
making
all that stuff.
up. Melanie Hughes S3G said, I'm watching this episode. Did they not pay the heating bill? Hats, toboggans, hoodies, sweatshirts. How cold is it there? I read this and I was like, I guess some people call toboggan. I was like, I don't remember somebody bringing a sled into the studio.
No, that's
saying
a hat.
Some people call toboggans the beanies, winter hats.
Yeah.
It's like,
To
what's
be
wrong?
fair, I watched a couple episodes before to get ready for this one, and I'm like, I should wear something warm. It must be cold there.
It's because he wears the
I agree.
Bills. I wear the
stocking
Bills
cap.
beanie, and the beanie definitely makes it look like, or toboggan,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Definitely makes it look like it's colder than it is. But no,
See?
Randy keeps it at a regulation
Thanks for
72.
telling us that, man. 'cause
Yeah, and
a
it's
lot
not
of people,
cold.
A lot of people
No,
are saying
no.
no. A lot of people are saying no to coming on the podcast, and we think it might be it's too cold.
I'm making it look
Yeah.
too
A
chilly.
lot of
in
these
here.
LA guys.
Oh, yeah, we've been asking a
Yeah.
lot of warm weather client people.
But
Yeah,
the
what do they
hoodie's
do
a
with it?
little weird. Like, I mean, like I've seen podcasts where people wear hoodies.
Yeah,
And I'm
I-
not
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it must be freezing.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Well,
in
you
there?
got a parka on right now or something.
a t-shirt and a windbreaker
Yeah,
jacket.
well, you got a coat. I don't know.
Keep digging on that one, buddy.
You're right. Okay, man.
That's Greg bombing, everybody.
Yeah,
it does
you're
happen.
Yeah,
Look at you all t-shirt and hat. Hey, guys, Tim, fun facts. Let's go. Okay. You got owned.
Yeah, I did, man. It was a reach. It was a reach. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, buddy. Enjoy
That
it.
was fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Dance on my grave.
I mean,
Victory sip.
Victory sip.
You got it. Up next, Bob Culver said, Sean 39. He just
Bobby!
began his comment with Sean. Do you know Bob Culver?
No, I know the name.
Okay.
I know the name through.
Bob? Oh, you've heard.
Bob's a pretty common name. yeah.
I know. I see. I think it's not his first comment on YouTube.
Got it.
YouTube guy. That's what I'm
Got
saying.
it. Okay.
And there's Culver Road in Rochester, New York. I lived off of for like 25 years.
Okay.
So there it goes.
Bob Culver said, Sean 390. While doing Virginia trivia and immediately after making fun of Tim for a mistake, Greg tells Tim that Virginia's for lovers is the state motto, which is actually the tourism slogan. The state motto is Sic Semper Tyrannis, which Sean,
That's all great, except for I wasn't the one who said Virginia for lovers is the state motto. It was Sean.
And I did, and yeah, he's technically right. But it's like Missouri is the show me state. That's what
Yeah.
people would go by.
Yeah, we're
But
not
it's the
going
same
by
thing.
that.
But technically, it's like the same
the
thing.
tourism, so that's a totally different thing.
Yeah, but I'm like saying, like, if you were to just say in casual conversation, what's the state motto? What would you just say?
No,
like,
every state has an official motto that's like in there. It's not like a.
no, I understand. I'm just saying, like, what would you say? You would say for Missouri is what? What do you just say? It's the show me state. Yeah, that's what I was doing with Virginia. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were taking some liberties.
But
yeah, no, I was. I mean, I'm not saying he is.
You
he
weren't
is
right.
but-
This guy was trying. This guy basically is doing what he accused us of is because he's saying, "I got you." Greg said this. I didn't say it. Sean said it. All in all, Tim's still saying DC is the capital of Virginia. The dumbest thing said on our podcast.
390 will be that you'd have a healthy debate.
yeah,
on 390.
no, Bob. You know what? Bob got it right. I'm the one who misunderstood
Oh, okay.
and tried to point it at Greg.
Oh, I bet
so.
you that was the fix. Tim tried
Oh,
to just,
yeah, because you were trying to get me.
yeah.
Yeah. I got you.
Subconsciously, yeah, maybe I
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
because I think you deserve it.
Okay.
Dave Kirby led with toaster in the trash money. Hearing Greg say that he put his Uncrustable in the toaster despite explicit instructions not to, I instantly imagined him running to the dumpster with another smoldering appliance. Someone's 401k must be doing pretty well.
401k.
Oh, man.
Greg
All
is
right.
rich. No bones about that.
Fortunately, he's throwing away appliances. People went into the GIF and skipped all of it. They went in hard. David Beal 1210 said, "This is something you said. Greg on the last episode said, I'm against Nutella. You might as well be eating a candy bar. Moments later, also Greg, chocolate Jif might be the greatest food I've ever had in my life.
Comment of the year. That is comment of the year right there.
Yeah. You know,
You want to talk about that, Greg?
no, I kind of thought about it a little bit later. I'm like, I may not be able to.
Several people pointed that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty strong.
Let me
That's
be
great, man.
let me be clear about this. Okay, they are two very different things.
Yeah.
It's hazelnut
Mhm.
and chocolate is Nutella.
Delicious.
Chocolate peanut butter is peanuts and chocolate, which is
Sure, man.
meant to be together.
You're right. It's still hilarious.
Yeah, man. No, I was wrong on that. It was dumb. It wasn't DC, Virginia dumb, but it was dumb.
Up next. So this is
He's not going to
Great.
give in on it.
I know, man.
he's
It's
upset.
so told you. I literally
Here's the
told you
thing,
this
buddy.
was going to happen.
On the way down here, he goes,
I called it.
You can't talk. Tim doesn't take these things so well. He goes, you can't get on him about DC, Virginia. I was like, he's going to get it. Like,
Yeah.
Because I've come down on you so hard, and I've come down on myself for stuff. But he didn't think he could take it. And now I'm starting to see maybe he was right.
No, I'm not angry. I just don't think it's that big of a, I don't know. It was like a split. I was trying to beat you to the punch, and I just said
Yeah.
a place that's basically in Virginia. I mean, right? It's right.
But I
Thank
feel
you.
like I could justify
But it
the
does
same
have
thing
some significance.
with the
It's capital of
390.
the United
Because
States.
I
look,
fully acknowledge that it's completely wrong.
there is a clock and it's down to the 100th of a second. So you'd see where my brain's like, oh, boom, we're looking at the screen when I did 390. That's I feel like the same
You'll
way.
be
You guys
defending
don't
Maybe,
give-
but it's
you don't
just
give
one
me
of the
that pass.
things. I'm just going to go with the moment that it happened. Three people who I trust very, very much, myself, Randy, and Tim, all thought it was the dumbest thing they'd ever heard. And
Well,
it
no,
was
you
dumb.
just said Tim said the dumbest thing you've ever heard in the show.
He
so
might
we
have
can't
beat
have it both ways.
He might have beat it at the time. At the time, it was the dumb. It was so dumb.
All right. This one I enjoy. Zoltan, you know, Greg used to work for Procter & Gamble. He sold Jif. He's very, very passionate about Jif. We talk about it quite a bit on the podcast.
Yeah.
Now, before I read this one, I want to remind people we are not an advice podcast for a lot of
Legal
reasons.
reasons.
Yeah, Sean
Advice.
just
We
thought
half the
about.
stuff isn't even factual.
Yeah, thought of,
What are you talking about? I mean, we're not the historians. What are you doing here, man?
However, I wanted to see if we could help this person out. Joe Baxter 7401 is the
Yeah.
commenter. He then shared that this is a burner account that he's using in order to protect his marriage.
Oh, wow. Oh, boy.
I'll continue.
wow.
My wife and I are huge fans to the point that we flew out to Columbus to watch Greg's taping. But I saw that she was buying Skippy and I confronted her. She said the reason was that BJ's Wholesale Club doesn't sell Jif.
Right.
I was going to post a comment asking Greg if he could get Brazzi to change that the next time they have breakfast, but I first decided to do some research. Turns out BJ's does sell Jif.
What?
My wife misled me. I'm not sure how much longer this marriage can last. Now, I responded. I said, sorry for what you're going through. Keep us posted. He posted again. He confronted her. She claims that when she first started shopping, they didn't have Jif, so she kept doing the same delivery order. I think I need to subpoena Brazzi in the divorce proceedings to testify when the SKU, what is it called? SKU was introduced to BJ's to determine how long this fraud has been going on.
I mean, I don't want to get
Greg,
in this.
thoughts?
My thoughts are you guys got a lot to work out.
Get a good therapist.
But I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for this union. I think I can feel love.
I'm surprised you're not writing her off.
I don't like her. Okay.
I don't like her.
But if things go circle the drain, we can refer to Jay Kanzler.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he does it all.
Jay is the attorney, the official attorney.
You guys
I
have
hope
an attorney?
We have an
Yeah.
attorney.
He's a pit bull.
Zoltan,
And listen, as a guest, it's one of the things that we offer. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, you get
I could use one
lifetime
of
legal services from Jay Kanzler.
I'll take the number.
Jay would appreciate
and the mug.
Jay doesn't
And the mug,
yeah.
With the shirt.
Yeah. Jay doesn't know about this yet.
I'm gonna write his number on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay does not know about
He
it.
doesn't know about
probably
this,
would
but
be
yeah.
thrilled about it. But such a good guy would probably do it. He would probably do it in protest. Be like, hey, man, next time, let's not keep encouraging
Yeah.
that. So.
Yeah.
Chick Nick said, I was always a store brand peanut butter buyer until I first saw Greg on Nateland. He was so convincing on the superiority of Jif I have bought nothing but GIF since. Love the pod, all 78 episodes.
See, that the system works. Thank
So
you,
many
CCN.
more.
Jenna Obi said 100% serious. I switched from Skippy to GIF because of this podcast.
Wow.
Love
Yeah.
you.
And then you guys know since our last episode, we did celebrate National Peanut Butter Day.
Yeah.
So happy National Peanut Butter Day to you and yours. On the Facebook page, Sean's brother Chip O'Brien posted, Happy National Peanut Butter Day, and posted a jar of Justin's.
It's a troll move.
Sean was furious about that.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the water in it? And then you got to mix
no.
it.
No, we
I
didn't
actually
so.
mentioned Justin's on the last podcast.
You did.
I said they tried to corner me, and they were like, "Hey, if we were sponsored by Skippy, would you take $500,000?" I said no, and they said, "What, Peter Pan or Skippy? Which one?" I said, "I'm not deciding." They're like, "You have to decide." I go, "Well, if I had to take money from somebody that wasn't Jif, it would probably be Justin's." I do think it's it's not Jif. It's not Jif, and it's a little hoity-toity for me. But
But I know what he's talking
hoity-toity.
about. There was a video that somebody, I don't know if they're screwing around. They added water to peanut butter, and there's like, there you go, you get more.
I think I saw something. Yeah,
horrific.
yeah. I don't like. I don't. Somebody sent me that video, and I it's against everything I stand for.
Well, it has to be. Yeah, I mean, you're cutting it with water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, what do we, you know?
yeah.
My mom used to do that with the milk.
Oh,
She-
sure.
Yeah. And
You
she's
do.
like, yeah, but I don't have time to go to the store.
Yeah, cut it with, all right.
When Sean and I were roommates, he did that with the hand soap in the bathroom.
I did.
Oh, yeah.
You should.
I mean, that's
Yeah, soap is that you're supposed to do it.
Keep in
with
mind, I
you're
didn't
not.
fill the bottle up. I put like a half
you
an ounce
fill
in.
it.
Yeah,
and
you
you
give it a
get
little shake.
little
Yeah.
shake. So
I'm
not
buying
cutting peanut butter. I
I'm
can tell you
buying
that.
hand soap for the place, and then next thing I know, I got a roommate who's I don't know.
I mean, it was just
15 years younger than me, but somehow he grew up in the Depression.
It's a recession buster.
Hey man, we were not even close to well. My dad would cut A1 steak sauce. Talk about a grinder move there.
with
With
water.
water?
Yeah, if you get the bottom, and then, it's a thick sauce, and then you pour it. What the heck? Shut up and eat it. I'm like, is this normal? Yeah. At the bottom of it gets that way. Kids asking questions.
I'm going to guess that was a real tender steak.
Yeah. Always dry. That's what sounds
Steak
like last
soup.
night. That's all we ate was pork chops as a kid. I can't do it.
Pork chops are awesome.
No, they are. I couldn't eat them while I'm eating meatloaf at a truck stop last night. That's a true story.
Sean and I went to the world's biggest truck stop yesterday. It's
You
an
know about this, man?
I-80 truck stop
What, in Iowa?
in Iowa,
Yeah.
near the Iowa-Illinois border
Oh, I have not been
on
there.
Interstate 80. And man,
It
it was pretty
bonkers,
awesome.
man.
It was
They
great.
just sell all sorts of stuff.
All kinds
I
of stuff,
mean-
like 8 different restaurants. We had good food, I thought.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was just funny. I was eating meatloaf in a truck stop. It just felt like a song in the 70s. Like, this guy didn't make it. This is
You got anything else?
Yeah, I got a handful more. People very excited about the Arch. So the Arch, the landmark here in St. Louis, Zoltan commented on our last video, which is very, very exciting for us. People excited. Christy, your wedding dresser, 6716, said, podcast in the Arch about McDonald's. Arch, you get it? That's fine.
No, because it's one arch. Yeah, and also there was a
Still.
riverfront McDonald's.
She said, yeah, and bonus, if you've ever been in the riverboat McDonald's that used to float nearby. We had a McDonald's on a riverboat here in St. Louis for many, many
Yeah.
years. It was just incredible.
I remember going there.
It was great. Yeah, field
Yeah.
trips. Amazing. Daniel Owens,
Food
1876.
was pretty much like the other McDonald's.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very similar.
But they had the big wheel.
Yeah,
Riverboat
they did.
wheel.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it was
I'm into
awesome.
that.
He said, look, guys, I spoke to Nate, and he said Greg can still say you have been consumed from time to time. Randy is also in agreement and thinks there shouldn't have been such a big kerfuffle over it. By the way, Big Kerfuffle was a ska band that Randy was a member of in the 90s.
There it is.
There we
Daniel.
go.
Solid.
Good work. Randy's shaking his head no.
Jacob K66 said, great seeing you three on Sunday night. This is last Sunday night. The three of us did a show together. I was quite literally 3 to 4 feet away from the front row, in the front row. Felt awkward since I could almost feel you breathe, but it was still fun.
That may not be such a good thing, as Tim was deathly ill.
Yeah, I wasn't
on that
doing-
show.
my
This
Sunday
guy-
was not
this guy
doing
may be
great.
sick.
Tim had the swine
Yeah.
flu.
Sorry, Jake. That's on me. Luke Robertson, 4071, said, I can't decide if I want the Bills to beat the Chiefs so I can see Sean at his highest moment or if I want them to lose so I can see him at his lowest. Having spent many years friends with Sean,
Yeah.
you want that high.
You want the high.
It doesn't take
Yeah.
much to see those lows.
The lows, and they're ugly, man.
Yeah.
They are,
You're going
man.
to get yelled at. Yeah.
And finally, from the Facebook page,
in public. Yeah. He'll yell at you in public.
I mean, every Bills fan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll just
I
start
want
screaming
him
at
to
you.
win.
He'll
just
start
'cause-
screaming at you in the middle of an
Yeah.
airport, in the middle of a mall, wherever,
Yeah.
in the middle of a grocery store.
I just am a loud talker.
Yeah.
No, that's the way God made me.
Yeah.
Wait.
He,
and
said-
then
he just said that really quietly.
yeah.
Well, I don't want to. I'm a loud talker. Then you're annoying people. But yeah, Mike, let's let
yes.
it work.
This is I got called out and I have to publicly apologize. Michael Finley, better known as Mookapotamus.
Good man,
Oh,
Tim. Tim's a good man on this one. I respect him here.
Mookapotamus made these coasters. Made
To
some
protect
hats
this
for us,
fine
yeah.
table.
Very
We got
nice.
awesome hats. We're big fans of Mookapotamus. Mookapotamus here. I have a small complaint for Tim Convy. Tim wants a free sweatshirt from Jif, and I'm still waiting on my Lego spaceship.
Is he really?
It's on me.
You're a
Yep. I'm
jerk.
apologizing publicly. Yeah. I
I
found it. It's in my car under a bunch of stuff.
appreciate you stepping up and
It's
and
in the
taking
envelope.
It, but that's,
Is it in
I'm
one piece?
Sorry.
It's all packed. Absolutely. It's packed and ready to go.
All right, Sean and I do.
Mookie, you just hang on, baby.
forgot.
Sean
We're
and
gonna
I,
get
there's
it
a
over.
lot of work that goes into this podcast, a lot of tasks, a lot of business stuff, and Sean and I do all of it. And that was the one thing we asked him to do was just send off that airplane. And I'm sorry, Mookapotamus. We got to send you something else.
I got these, though.
You know what? Send him a shirt.
I got these.
Bingo.
Send him a shirt.
You met the guy.
Yeah. All right.
You got
It's
his
on
size
me.
down.
I'll get around to it.
Send him a shirt. No.
Around to it.
Send him a shirt.
This
What do you
guy's never
think,
getting nothing.
Mookapotamus? Probably XL?
No. I'll send him and his wife one.
Okay.
Good,
All right.
Mrs. Mookapotamus.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
All right, man.
You're getting a first mail order consumer shirt.
Zoltan's
Anyway.
got a show tonight, so we probably got to.
we gotta
Mookapotamus,
wrap
that's
it
on
up.
me. Yeah, we got to
Yeah,
wrap
we
it
gotta
up.
Well, we got a few minutes left, so let's plug some dates.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, why don't you plug our guest first?
No, I'm going to plug our guest last, and you'll
Okay.
see why.
All right.
Because
Safe
it's going to be about the guests.
Guys are pro.
All right, so this coming weekend, we got Greg and Tim, Richmond Funny Bone.
Yeah.
January 31st, February 1st.
Yeah.
You can see both these guys.
Capital of Virginia, everybody.
You better believe it. I wasn't welcome. We don't know why, but that's the way it goes. So you win some, you lose some, guys. So yeah, go see Greg and Tim there. And then February 27th, Boca Raton, Florida.
Yep.
Called the Black Box. Greg will be there February 27th.
Yeah. You been there?
And
Yeah.
Never
yeah,
been there. You like it?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, good. Good.
Florida in general, or just that
No,
specifically?
no, that venue.
Oh, the
specifically.
venue.
I got
Yeah,
relatives down there. I'm pretty
Yeah.
excited.
Nice, man. And then March 1st, they'll be in Orlando at Bonkers with a Z.
Yeah.
Bonkers at the Corner in Orlando,
Love
Florida. That's for these two guys. And then our band right here, Zoltan, February 12th. Let's do this. Ontario Improv.
Nice.
Yes.
Bullseye. Got that one.
Yeah.
Some of them I'm not saying because they're already sold out. So
He
that's
sold
what it
out a
means.
ton of shows.
Sold
He
out
sold
a
out
ton.
tonight in St. Louis.
Yeah, tonight sold
Yeah.
out.
Incredible.
February 13th, Oxnard Levity Live. Oxnard Levity Live, correct. That's February 13th. And then February 14th, Portland, Oregon, Aladdin Theater.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Oh,
So,
That's perfect.
and I want to talk to you just for a couple things. So, we didn't mention anything about your home country.
Oh, Hungary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was just fascinated by I'm like such a dum-dum. I'm like, what is that? Eastern Europe, whatever. I know what's around there. Like Slovakia,
Yeah.
Ukraine, Romania,
Yep.
Croatia.
Yeah. think
And it
we
was
touched
kind of like
it.
in the center, right?
Yeah.
So I was looking, I was like, what makes Hungary? Am I saying that right? Hungary.
you are saying it right.
Is it interesting? So what is it? No, I basically want to get your thoughts of how much, if you agree with this, agree or disagree, that one of the hugest things in Hungary are thermal bath springs. Does this sound right?
I learned this watching a Anthony Bourdain podcast or TV show
Yeah.
because he was in. I didn't know that when I was a kid living
Yeah,
there.
because
I didn't.
so you left there 4
4 years old, so I
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
in the
Okay.
hot springs.
Yeah.
I wasn't
All
in
right.
the springs.
Do you go ever back there?
I have not been back. I want to go back. I offered to take my mom. She doesn't want to go, and so I think my wife and I are just going to go.
You've never been since you were 4?
No, we went back once when I was in kindergarten because we thought we were like moving back for good.
Yeah.
And then my mom took a look around. And we're like, we're going back. And then we went back to the United States.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
So I actually
got
don't know that much stuff
Ah,
about
okay,
which
okay.
is a shame because a lot
roll
of
the dice.
Hungarians come out to my show and they're like, do you speak Hungarian? And I just know enough to say I don't.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and they're a little disappointed.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know Randyland in Pittsburgh. Don't know anything about Hungary. It's
Yeah, Randyland is one. I went to Kennywood. I went to
Kennywood's-
Three River Stadium.
Yeah,
I
those
went,
places are nothing compared to Randy.
Yeah, Randyland.
Yeah, you were in
Iconic.
Italy. You got married in Italy.
yeah.
Yeah. So
That was good. You guys were talking about peanut butter. Peanut butter was one of those things when we moved from Hungary to here, I thought was the grossest thing as a kid.
Yeah.
And then now I love it.
Yeah.
But it was that and macaroni and
Take a jar if
cheese.
you want, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was that macaroni and cheese I couldn't get into right away because it was very different from what I ate back home. Love them both now, but
Yeah.
there was like a 2-year that's gross.
Wow.
And then I'm like, no, this is great. What was wrong with me?
Yeah, it is a thing when especially when I was working on the peanut butter material, I would do crowd work. And if somebody said, I don't eat peanut butter, and I'd ask them to leave the show unless
he did last night.
they're from another country. Because
Right.
the U.S. is basically, I think Canada, but the U.S. is basically the only place where people eat it.
Yeah. We don't have that over there.
Yeah, so I'm not mad at you.
Yeah, I changed allegiances. Now I'm a peanut butter mac and cheese person.
They seem to be into Ben and Jerry's too.
I'm Ben and Jerry's, all that stuff. Apple pie, something else in there.
And you got to work. I mean, you're in great shape, man. You got a Fitbit. You were probably using it,
I'm
right?
trying.
That's a Fitbit guy, right?
Yeah,
You probably used it. I'm at 400 steps. So what about you?
No, I've taken none today. I've gotten because I woke up this morning and I had to drive. I'm at 1,700 steps, and I think I was just shaking my arm while I was driving.
That's the problem, man. I know
Yeah.
it keeps scoring the arm shake.
Sometimes
It's a
there's
real
a turbulent flight, and I'm like, I did not take 2,000 steps on that flight.
They're giving credit where credit's due. Greg's good about that. He's at 10,000 plus today, guy. You're pretty good about it, man.
He's an
I
athlete.
just found out recently that you can use the phone to count them. I was doing it manually. It was,
That's why we'd be walking on the street out here, 664.
hey, Greg,
I
what?
thought it was
One.
one.
We are the consumers. You have been consumed.
Go Bills!